You're watching Canada's Weather Network. To help you plan your activities in the coming days, here are the forecasts for your area. Upload your photos and videos, visit upload.theweathernetwork.com.
This local forecast has been brought to you by Tim Hortons' new egg white maple and bacon breakfast sandwich. 290 calories of delicious.
Storm watch coverage continues here at the Weather Network. Thanks for joining me. I'm Chrissy Van, live from Fredericton. Coming up, we'll be joined by Suzanne Leonard. Want to tell you, though, this winter wonderland maybe not so wonderful if you're traveling out on the roads in Atlantic Canada. We've had really a parade of low-pressure systems, this one packing a punch. So far here in Fredericton, I've recorded 14 centimeters of snow, and we still have several hours of moderate and heavy snowfall still to come. Now, I know that it's caused a mess elsewhere in Atlantic Canada. We've had a mix of rain as well, and Suzanne will break down those details. But really what I've been seeing out here, not so much the winds quite yet. They will be picking up through the overnight, but luckily they've been pretty calm, which is a good thing because the snow that has been falling has been pretty light, fluffy, and the big concern would be if you're traveling out, the blowing snow. But overall, I mean, it's been pretty incredible. I've already wiped off the car about 5 times. It really has come down so hard, Suzanne, that I actually had the trunk open of the car and the whole inside of the trunk was covered in snow before I had a chance to shut it down.
I bet. You know, if you had nothing to do tonight, go out and make some snow angels. It's probably perfect for that. Go and lie down in the front yard or just go for a nice snowy walk. It is a wet night, and we thank you for joining us. It's coming up to 11 o'clock local time, and the mild air is just pivoting around the center of low pressure. Halifax is up to 8 degrees. Moncton and Charlottetown, you're just above 0. It's raining now on top of the snow that you've had. If we look at temperatures across the country, we see what is an abundance of mild air for late January. Calgary 8, Vancouver 11, Winnipeg -9. You should be in the -20s for overnight lows this time of year. And although you are noticeably cooler than yesterday, temperatures are up and down. as is the jet stream, as is the flow of our storms west coast. And we've got cold air. We've been exporting it to the U.S. Texas had a big snowstorm this week. Ontario's temperatures are dropping. It doesn't look like much, but there's snow falling around Georgian Bay right now. And around Sudbury, last I looked, it was about -15. Short drive south, Muskoka and Toronto were sitting at 0 at the same time. All of those temperatures continuing to drop, while the east coast, as the atmosphere tries to balance itself out, this is a big push of mild air. Now bear in mind, most areas started as snow earlier today, and then a big changeover to some very heavy rain across Nova Scotia, and that's what we're seeing here in green on the radar. Around the South Shore, it's a little drier right now. Heavy rains continuing for Sydney and nearby Inverness County. We could see some of those lace wet winds reach 170 kilometers an hour tomorrow. Oh, you want me to talk about the snow? Okay, fair enough. I'll go back to it for a second. You see how that green swings up towards Moncton, southeast New Brunswick, Cobequid Pass and Charlottetown, PEI? Yeah, that's the mild air surging in, but Fredericton still in snow. Brian Dillon's our briefing meteorologist. At 10:30, which is just a short while ago, Halifax Harbour, total water level approaching 2.7 meters. That means the surge is at play right now. It's 20 centimeters below the record set during Hurricane Juan. So big push, rising water levels, and some rough surf as well. So some shoreline damage is certainly possible, and areas near the waterfront in any of these exposed areas could see some of that. We've got some reports of some ponding on roads. Be careful. I know there's quite a conversation going on social media. I've been following and passing along some of your advice, some localized flooding and ponding. And then winter storm and snowfall warnings, New Brunswick, wind warnings as we get into Newfoundland. Worst of the storm for you comes tonight and tomorrow and up through Labrador. We've got warnings for blizzard and winter storm conditions. If we look a little bit ahead, Sunday, we've got warmer, quiet weather in the prairie provinces, much colder weather for Ontario, still very windy weather for Atlantic Canada. The worst of your winds tonight, and that would be shoreline areas, gusts over 120 kilometers an hour. Rainfall overnight for northern regions of BC. That's where the storm track shifts, and we have had some very mild temperatures today. Rainfall warnings for Bella Bella. Victoria was 15. You were the hot spot in the country. Coast to coast, we continue storm watch coverage for the east. Be right back.
Keep the forecast at your fingertips. Download the Weather Network app at your favorite app store.
You can search for flight deals until your fingers fly off. Dang it. Or use Kayak to search hundreds of travel sites to find the best deals in seconds. Kayak. Search one and done.
Take an important step towards supporting your cardiovascular health with Mega Red Omega-3 Krill Oil. It supports 3 markers by improving cholesterol levels, reducing triglycerides, and improving your omega-3 index. All in small soft gels with no fishy aftertaste. Plus, Mega Red and the Heart and Stroke Foundation are working together for a healthier Canada. We pledge to make a contribution for every purchase. So try Mega Red today.
Okay, bring him back down to the trot.
This is my business.
I believe in it.
I live it and breathe it. I put my heart and soul, blood, sweat, and tears into it.
I run on QuickBooks. That's how I own it.
Painful sore throat? Try Cepacol Extra Strength. It contains menthol and the maximum amount of benzocaine in a lozenge for targeted sore throat relief, so you can get on with your day. #1 pharmacist recommended Cepacol Extra Strength.
Before you make that long-distance phone call, do you know about 1010-710 from Castel? You can save money by simply dialing 1010-710, followed by 1, the area code, and then the number. You'll be charged only 99 cents per call, up to 110 minutes anywhere in Canada or the US. You can talk anytime, no contract, no network fees, and with excellent quality. 1010-710 from Castel, the solution for long-distance calls.
The most complete weather coverage in Canada. That's what you get from the Weather Network.
We have over 30 meteorologists working around the clock to meet your forecast needs.
For the big picture and your local details, tune in to the Weather Network.
You're watching Canada's Weather Network. To help you plan your activities in the coming days, here are the forecasts for your area. Visit upload.theweathernetwork.com.
This local forecast has been brought to you by Scotiabank. Earn travel rewards up to 4 times faster with the Scotiabank Gold American Express card. Conditions apply.
Let's take a look at the snowfall. St. John, New Brunswick. I don't know if this really does it justice. This was earlier on around Lawrence's place when it was coming down light. It is coming down heavily now, and it is pouring rain in Halifax. We've also got some very stormy conditions on the west coast, but it's not around the south. It's up around Haida Gwaii. Gusts are 80 kilometers an hour, pouring rain. Good to see you, Suzanne Leonard and the team. It is fairly interesting. Saturday into Sunday, we see big temperature drop coming with this cold front in Ontario. There's a little bit of snow, a little bit of freezing drizzle still in some of our big population centers around Toronto and Hamilton. But as we look at the cloud tops, clearly we've got very stormy weather on both our coasts. We're going to go to the east coast in a moment. Want to bring you up to date on what's going on in the west. With these plumes of moisture blasting up against the BC coast. We see a little bit of snow for the Alberta Rockies, but mainly it's these clipper systems, and they get themselves organized and then they scoot across. They help to bring in a little cold air behind them, affecting mainly northern communities because the big push of air is mainly the warm sector, that warm air mass driving temperatures up and above zero in some cases. Maybe a few centimeters of snow for Winnipeg, and snow eater winds, Chinook winds, these downsloping winds as they're locally known, Chinooks, for southern Alberta. And the winds are going to be picking up tonight again. They're relatively light at the moment. Anything but light, the rainfall. And this is an additional 50 millimeters. You know, by Monday you may have 200 millimeters of rain, 8 inches. There's a visual on that. So, yeah, some road washouts or slides are certainly possible. The avalanche risk is high in many parts of BC. It has dropped a bit for the south coast. And speaking of drop, the drop in central pressure of our nor'easter, this intensification from this morning to tomorrow morning, qualifies it as a weather bomb. In a moment, what that means and how it will affect you. But now here's Michelle Mackey.
Well, we are in storm watch for Atlantic Canada as a major system moves in this weekend. Snow is expected in New Brunswick, while Nova Scotia, PEI, and Newfoundland could receive up to 50 millimeters of rain. By Sunday morning, Newfoundland could also see gusts of 100 kilometers an hour. To space now, where a mountain-sized asteroid will zoom past Earth on Monday. Never fear, this is not an Armageddon situation. The asteroid will pass within 1.2 million kilometers of the Earth.
Brief news update for you, and now back to the weather as we track this low pressure system dropping more than 24 millibars in 24 hours. That classifies it, as I mentioned a moment ago, as a weather bomb. And that guarantees that we're going to have some very strong winds, sustained over 60 shoreline areas. Gusts could be double that for some shoreline areas. You know what kind of a storm this is. It's the kind that will take those wreck house winds and the Inverness County lace wet winds and push them up to 150, maybe even 170 kilometers an hour gusts. The worst period is through Sunday. And we'll see Newfoundland, of course, the last to improve as far as the wind is concerned. The winds are not really going yet. It's the snow and the rain. And accumulations about 10 centimeters already, parts of southern New Brunswick. Total amounts about 20 or so. More than that for Labrador, and heavy rain continues. We've had some freezing rain, freezing drizzle mainly in southern Ontario today. You're quieter, colder tomorrow. Our low tracks north, and BC, where that wet weather keeps coming, except for the south coast, drying up a bit. Summerside PEI, big winds, storm watch continues.
Keep the forecast at your fingertips. Download the Weather Network app at your favorite app store.
Hi, you've reached Emma. I'm out of the office right now, but we'll get back to you just as soon as I possibly can. Your call is important to me.
Join us for new ways to explore the world. Enjoy cruises from $4.99 during our 50th anniversary sale. Call your travel consultant or 1-800-PRINCESS. Princess Cruises. Come back new.
There are 16 fresh-picked Florida oranges squeezed into each carton of Tropicana Pure Premium. And absolutely no space for added sugar or water. Tropicana Pure Premium. Never any sugar or water added.
Whoa. Not your frequent heartburn again. Here, try Olex. 1 pill a day for 2 weeks helps stop acid production at the source, and you can get it without a prescription. That's progress, buddy. Ask your pharmacist about new Olex. Take control of your frequent heartburn.
Meet Greg. Every morning, Greg counts on the 100% whole wheat goodness of Shreddies to get him up and out the door, to flood the outdoor rink at the local park. It's something that he's volunteered to do for years now. Pretty much every kid that learns to skate in the neighborhood learns to do it on ice that Greg made. Genuine goodness. It's inside all of us in every bowl of good whole wheat Shreddies.
See yourself in new glasses without your glasses. At LensCrafters, our unique camera and screen system lets you compare yourself in 4 different frames at the same time, making sure all your vision choices are clear. LensCrafters loves eyes.
This Traveler's Report is brought to you by Expedia.ca. Plan your beach vacation and escape winter with Expedia.ca. Your trip, your way. Closed captioning is brought to you in part by Ascension on CBC. Deep Space, Deeper Secrets.
You're watching Canada's Weather Network. To help you plan your activities in the coming days, here are the forecasts for your area. us your photos and videos, visit upload.theweathernetwork.com.
This local forecast has been brought to you by Abreva. Abreva is now available in an easy-to-use pump.
Team Storm coverage continues. Thanks for joining us on this Saturday night, wherever you are in our fine and sometimes fair country. 15 in Victoria today. You were the national hotspot. Double digits still in Vancouver. Very mild with the January thaw in the prairie provinces. And the colder air as we go east, temperatures dropping in Ontario and Quebec, but going up in the Maritimes, which is where we pick up the story of our nor'easter. Rapid intensification, so much so that it's one of those lows that becomes known as a weather bomb in terms of its classification. Big plume of moisture, heavy rain on top of the snow you had in Moncton and in Charlottetown. Rain in green, a little bit drier around the South Shore. Big winds, storm surge concerns, and still snow in Fredericton, which is where we find our Chrissy Van, looking a little bit forlorn, standing in a snowbank. What's the latest there, Chrissy? Okay, we'll join Chrissy again a little bit later on if we can. We continue our team coverage here. We'll have Chrissy Van in Fredericton and Nate Coleman in Prince Edward Island. Live storm coverage continues tomorrow morning as well as through the night tonight. And through the night tonight is when we get into the worst of the winds. You're getting the heavy precipitation now. Storm surge warnings. And this is an area where we're quite concerned along the Atlantic seaboard. Let me show you a couple of the photos that you have been sharing with us on social media. And I want to first go to some of the heavy rain around Dartmouth and around Halifax. Water on the bridge and the winds picking up. And in Charlottetown, it was snow earlier on, and now it's really a sloppy mess. Temperatures have bumped above zero in Charlottetown. And Fredericton, the view out tonight, the winds increasing, people saying, you know, be careful getting around. The roads are slippery. Great advice. Here are two photos I want you to see. Halifax Harbor near Cable Wharf. Storm surge water levels, normal water levels. And if we could go back to that other one again, and this is where we're concerned right now with high tide in about 13 minutes from now, and the water levels have come up quite a bit around Halifax Harbor. Now, rainfall warnings and snowfall warnings and winter storm warnings for New Brunswick, rain for St. John. That's your warning for the main type of precipitation you're getting. There's a long list of warnings, as is typical with a powerful nor'easter storm. Timing-wise, the worst of the winds coming through tomorrow for Newfoundland, and rain heavy along the South Shore, and through tomorrow, Labrador will get into the worst of the storm with blizzard conditions and winter storm warnings through Happy Valley, Goose Bay. So, lots to consider. Don't go out unless you have to. Travel safe, certainly. Very heavy rain and a sharp divide through New Brunswick at this hour with snow to the west and with rain to the east around Moncton. Jump into Ontario for just a second because conditions today were foggy, freezing drizzle, not the nicest of days, kind of gloomy. Tomorrow sunnier, but colder. Current conditions across the province. And as we go north and we go west, yeah, we stay cold and then we get to Calgary and we bring Mike Arsenault into this conversation. Mike, you're just back from your trip across the country. How was it, and do these scenes look familiar to you?
Well, it was a great trip, Suzanne, but temperatures weren't as mild as what we're seeing there right now. I guess I missed it by about a week. But as we take a look at the Western Canada story, Suzanne has passed the baton to me. I'll be with you for the rest of the evening as we cover the storm in Atlantic Canada. But we're going to slide out west. We do have a rainfall warning in place for the areas marked in green. Sliding across the Rockies, we have a wind warning as well through southwestern Alberta. And we do have a system that's bringing quite a bit of moisture to the central and north coast and into the central and northern interior through this evening and into the day tomorrow. Bit of a drying pattern for much of the south coast. So additional rainfall through Monday morning looks like this. Vancouver, really less than 15 millimeters, and you can see the greater amounts the further we move to the north. Bit of a clipper system dropping some snow through parts of the prairies. This is through Monday morning. General 2 to 5 centimeters through northern Saskatchewan into the Interlake region of Manitoba. 2 to 6 centimeters expected there. Across the country for your Sunday, fairly quiet out west, warmer conditions. In fact, we could be hitting close to 18, 20 degrees in Lethbridge, Alberta as we hit into the work and school week, and the rapid intensification of that low in Atlantic Canada. The brunt of it will be in Newfoundland tomorrow.